Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Top 8 from Covenant, Tulsa. We're here at the Star Wars Destiny 2019 Regional. I am joined by a couple of very special guests. First, we have Sugi from the legendary Knights of Ren. And we also, go ahead and Sugi, introduce yourself. Give us the quick rundown. Who is Sugi?
My name is Sugi. I play Mill. Most people hate me for that.
Boo.
Yeah. And, we do a podcast. We talk about Destiny, and we have a lot of fun doing it.
Awesome. You've been a staple of the community since the very beginning, so I'll just say a quick shout out. Thank you so much for all your work and building the community. It's been a great addition to everything. So, and we also have the one, the only Eric Wainwright, multiple time regional winner, the master of the Padawans who are rotating out soon. Thank the maker.
Yes, right.
Eric, go ahead and introduce yourself really quick so everyone can understand your voice.
Yeah, I'm Eric Wainwright, and played Padawans again today. Didn't make the cut, and so I get to sit here and commentate with you guys on these awesome people that did make top 8.
Yeah, and all of us were so good that we get to sit here and commentate instead. And so, of course, I am Zach. We'll be starting here real quick. This is going to be the top 8. On the left, we're going to have Karl Lake, hailing from Texas. He has been a frequent visitor at our Covenant Masters series, which is going to conclude in a couple of weeks at the finale on the 1st and the 2nd. And on the right, we have Matt Phillips, a local of Tulsa, who's been playing Destiny from the start. And these two have some really interesting decks going on. These are decks that I haven't heard people talking a lot about. And in fact, I know a little bit of a story here. Matt actually saw Yoda, Chewie, and obviously Vader's a huge part of the meta right now. But Matt saw Yoda, Chewie online a couple days ago, or Thursday night, and built the deck. I think he played one game before the tournament this morning, and that was his experience coming into this tournament. He went 5-2, made the cut. So we're going to do a quick rundown of their decks in a second. And if you're watching on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch Live, I'd love to know, give a quick sound off that you're here and that you can hear us and that you can see the stream and stuff. And once we kind of run down the decks, I think the players will get underway and we'll be here throughout the entire top 8. So, Sugi, go ahead and give me a breakdown real quick of Karl's deck. He's the player on the left. It looks like he's got Beckett, Talzin.
Yeah, so we actually talked about this on our recent episode, and this is probably one of the more control-y villain decks initially off the gate, and then you can start to sustain into some really strong mid-range good stuff. So you're looking at Tobias Beckett and Mother Talzin. You bring profitable connections, so you start the game with 3 resources, and you're running Theed. So at any point, any given time, you can power action Theed to have a 4th resource, and you can power action Tobias to have a 5th resource. You do give your opponent another resource, but you're still starting with 5, and they get 3. You want to turn 1, get that rifle, Tobias Beckett's rifle, on the table, because when you play it on Tobias Beckett, it eats a resource from your opponent. So you start with 3, then you go to 1, then your opponent goes to 1, and then you can just power action, make more money, and your opponent's like, oh, I can't play upgrades, and I have just enough money for mitigation, and that's how you want to start. If you can't get that, you really have tons of options, like, strong removal. You've got Vader's Fist, you've got Night Sniper, just a lot of really good options that can help you sustain away until you get either a strong enough board presence or you can disrupt your opponent long enough to just take control of the game.
Awesome. And what about, so Matt on the right here running Yoda, Chewie. Eric, can you give me a breakdown of his deck real quick?
Yeah, so we're talking about speed. We've got the hyperspace jumps. We've got special chaining happening here. I think every single one of his upgrades that he has a special side on it. So he's looking to use Yoda to abuse that, get into there, get done with the round quickly. And then the combination between like Chewie and Force Throw or Chewie and some of these other specials means that you can do a ton of damage and then not be hurt as much by those dice, which is the problem with Chewie. Normally you get to spin them into high damage things, but then they come back at you.
And it looks like Karl won the battlefield here, so we're on his Theed Palace. Matt quickly playing and Treasure Lightsaber onto Chewie, lets you draw a card when you play it. Beckett rolls in and gets double blank, which is exactly how you want to start your first game of top 8. And to be clear here, so we had a regional today, and we're now down to the top 8 players, and these players are going to be playing best of 3. which is good because you get to kind of see how your opponent's deck works, and if you get tricked the first game, you have opportunities to come back from that. It looks like we have Dark Council played on Talzin here.
Dark Council, good way.
It's not a good sign for the start.
That's
just
true.
because what he's wanting to shoot for, we didn't see. But we do see in his hand he's got some really strong mitigation. So, like we were talking about earlier, if he can't get the rifle, he can get a lot of mitigation. So he can probably keep Chewie offline because he's going to try and flip all these dice. And you can see right there, we're going to hit a Vandalize right
Get
there.
that 4 speed off the board.
This is a bunch of that no-no stuff. Like, this is what I run in my deck. You want to play an upgrade? No. You want to play a support? No. Tobias and Talzin are great at stopping that.
Well, and I think, Matt was talking to me about basically all of his dice either change his own dice or can mess with his opponent's dice. And you get enough of that going, and it gets pretty obnoxious, right? Like Talzin just being able to turn. When she has an ability to activate, you can look at the top card of a player's deck. If it's an odd-costed card, you can turn one of their dice to a side of your choice. And so he's going to look at his own deck here. Obviously, he's probably going to get an odd card. So he flips that blank, which is...
And he's obviously played more than me, but for me, I was looking at Tobias Beckett getting on that special because playing against a Tobias Beckett with a special on the table is absolutely obnoxious.
It is very obnoxious.
Against Yoda sitting over
Well,
there.
and
It's
I'm a little surprised here on Dark Council because if you... the special lets you...
draw a card and re-roll it back in.
Yeah, which I don't know if that's a value here, but he just turned to damage on Talzin. Eric, what's your thoughts on going for damage early like this?
In general, I'm all about resources round one. I mean, there's specific matchups where that wouldn't be the case, but I think this is a perfect thing where Matt needs resources in order to get his game plan going, and Tobias is great at denying them, so I would expect this to be a fight over resources early on before the board states get built up.
Yeah, and Karl, he still hasn't used, I don't think, his Theed Palace action, or power action yet. And Theed Palace really, there's a lot of talk about Vader, and I think he's a big part of the meta. Ooh, 2 more blanks. Rough start here for
Ouch.
Karl, but he's going to get more damage. And I think, between Talzin and Beckett, he can do a lot of damage pretty quick. But I think Theed Palace is really the story of the meta right now, right?
Oh, yes.
I think that is the easily, it's like Vader is winning half the regionals right now, but Theed Palace is in
Like
90% of all winning decks or something, or 70%.
Well, like of all regionals, it's like 70+%.
Well,
of
what
all
percent
decks.
of winning decks is it in? Is my
It's
question.
higher than
I bet
that.
it's obnoxious.
Yes.
So here you go. So Chewie turning Beckett to a 3 and doing 3 damage to it with a special. Beckett doesn't have any money right now, which he can ultimately get, but Matt's sitting on a money, so I assume, so there we go, Theed Palace being triggered. Matt's going to have something to deal with the 3. And if not, he's just going to take 3 more to the teeth, which seems, it's halfway on Chewie, if we get there.
And I think he knows that Chewie is the primary source of dealing damage.
All right, overconfidence, both the Beckett dice.
One of those was a blank, right?
One was a blank, so he's going to remove 1, and he takes the 3 down to a 2 damage, it looks like. But again, Karl has something going on here. So he's got 5 on Chewie. My concern always with going damage early is obviously you're not building your board, but you're also at the risk when Yoda's on the board. It's terrifying because they just shield up, and then if it's a yellow character, so if they have second chance,
or Force Illusion.
And that's relevant now because we used to play in metas where shields are pretty relevant, and now shields are starting to make a comeback where there's a lot less unblockable damage, and you can use shields to sustain characters to that extra turn you need to win.
Yep. And so, but yeah, between Yoda and he does indeed run 2 Force Illusions and 2 second chances in that deck. So, there's a good chance that even if you get halfway down on Chewie, round 2, one of those things is going to drop, and it's going to be tough sledding to get through that Wookiee.
All right, Matt just tossed a Force Throw, which I'm sure he is sad to do. But he did get a special on Chewie, which all of Karl's damage dice are spent. So Chewie special effectively a blank. Going to throw a Cunning as well. Ouch. Got a resource on Chewie and a 2 damage on the treasure. Not going to be able to resolve the 2, but will get a money. So if he does draw into another Force Throw here, he's going to be able to immediately play that on Yoda. And obviously Yoda with Force Throw is just obnoxious. For those unaware, Yoda's special lets you change one of your other dice to a side showing special. So cards like Force Throw, even Chewbacca, get really good and potent with Yoda on the board.
Yeah, and Cunning and Force Throw, I think, are 2 of the things he really wanted to get down early on, but I agree with those dice on the table. He needed to roll to get something more out of his turn, and just hope he drew into some more action with his next draw.
And that's the Void saying having a hard time following the match. We're going to try to keep you involved here. If you understand the base of the game, you're trying to defeat the other person's characters, and you can look in the top right corner of each character, and that's their health stat. So you're dealing damage, and you're going back and forth taking actions. Playing the crossbow, right?
The hand light crossbow, yes.
Yes. On Yoda, spending the 3 resources, and this is going to be interesting. I haven't seen either of these decks really in action, So this is fun to watch for sure.
I feel like Yoda and Chewie has a really strong setup right now, but that's kind of what the deck does. It early game tries to set up and kind of overwhelm the opponent, whereas Beckett and Talzin, they're probably prepared to take a little bit of beating of the face, but once they get established, they probably have a much better board state. So what Chewie and Yoda have to do now is try and kill something so they can establish themselves far enough ahead where they're not going to get crushed once you start to see the X8 sniper and you start to see bigger plays.
Yeah, and so what we have going on here, right, is Matt's built his board a little bit. He's got some damage. Karl still has 4 resources. Hasn't triggered Beckett yet, so he could get to 5. I do wonder if he's playing cards like Vader's Fist. That's in there? So that's a powerful card. But Matt has all his dice on the table. He's looking to reroll. He also has that Impulsive in his hand, which is a 0-cost card. It has Ambush. It lets you resolve a die. And especially when you get Yoda on one of his focus sides, you can just resolve the focus to change 2 of your dice to any side you want and then immediately resolve them.
It's Kanan on a stick. Such a good effect.
And so there's another one that's really interesting that he just threw there. What was that one called? The Improved Defense. So normally it is a defense against people that have focus or some other type of fixing, but in here you can actually use it aggressively, where you can use Chewie to spin their dice to damage, do the damage, and then trigger that itself to remove their dice. So it's a little combo.
This is pretty crazy, right? If you look, Matt has a Treasure Lightsaber on special, a Chewie on special, and a Crossbow on special. So the Crossbow can remove all shields from a character and do 3, or remove all shields and do 2, or it can just do 3. The Chewie can turn Beckett to a 3 and hit for 3 more. And then Treasured right now is doing 2, so he's actually on 8 damage. Which is, he's trying to, I think Karl here is trying to blank one of Matt's dice, I'm not sure. But is that actually 8? Is that enough to kill Beckett here? 2 from the Treasured, 3 from the Chewie, and 3 more from the Crossbow, right?
Yep, and that's what's crazy. I mean, it looks non-threatening, and then special chaining can just go off and do that.
However, there is hope for Beckett and Talzin. He does have a lot of resources. If he gets the fist out, that's going to be 2 activations.
But I feel like my action there is immediately resolving the Beckett die.
Right.
Then he can't turn it and do the damage to the character.
That's true. Does he have the money to? He doesn't need the money, right? It's just the size of the thing. Yep.
Yeah. So here we go. So 3 on Beckett with the Crossbow. Chewie's going to turn it to a 3 and hit for 3, and then the Treasure's going to knock Beckett off the board. And if he just resolved that focus,
could have saved him some trouble.
Can't currently get there. So now we're down to Talzin with 9 health. I think this turn, there's
there
the fist.
is.
There's the fist.
Yep.
If a comeback is happening, that was necessary.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what he gets.
Yeah, Big Campy, this is the top 8 from the Star Wars Destiny Regional at Covenant Tulsa. We'll be here for the rest of the top 8. So we got the 4 indirect, but he has no money to pay for it. He does have a focus showing on that Dark Council die, so he can change it. And I think, if he wants to have a shot in this game, I think he needs to get Chewbacca off the board this turn.
Which is going to take a lot, because most of the big damage sides out of fist are indirect.
Indirect or have money sides, which you're not getting from your...
And I'm sure Yoda and Chewie are aware that it's mostly going to Yoda.
He's currently got 3 showing on Talzin. And if he resolves now, that Chewbacca special can't
That's true.
do it. But he's got 3 showing with Talzin. And he can focus the fist into another 3. So he's got 6 before rolling the fist in 2 more times.
That's true. Has he powered action feeds this round?
Yeah, he turns it when he uses it.
Got it.
So it's a smart play there. He's going to go ahead and do 3. Or is that 4? Yeah, he had 4 showing, so he actually has enough. If Matt can't control the 3 on the focus here, this is actually going to be really in Karl's favor. So he can focus with the Dark Council, turn the Vader's Fist to a 3, roll it back in. As long as he can get another 3 going, he's going to be in a good spot.
He still has power action also, so right.
All right, Impulsive.
So he's going to do it for him, spin it to the 4 side.
So he's spin it to the 3 for 1. So can he spend any die and do that damage to a character?
Correct.
I thought he had to spend the character's die and do that damage to that character.
No, you can just flip a die and then that damage is
that's fair.
shot at someone.
Well, that makes the Beckett earlier not as big of a deal. If he was already on max damage with Talzin, you aren't really going to focus it into anything. All right, here we go. Now, I'm surprised he's rolling that focus. There it is, second chance.
Oh, that's brutal.
That's,
Huge play.
that's rough.
So second chance, it's a 3-cost upgrade. When a character be defeated instead, they get a second chance. And they heal 5, and they get to keep going. It's been a big card. It's in the initial set. Matt here claiming going to get Theed next round. Going to do 3 more Chewie. But it's in the initial set, and it's been a huge card in the game ever since. And so when the next set comes out, it's actually going to be part of the rotation. And I'm excited to see a lot of those cards go away to see what people are going to do with their decks. Ooh, rolled the 3 natural.
That's really good. He still has power action to do it again. And yeah, I talked to Matt before this started, and we talked about if he should be running any redeploys, just because he's got 2 people that can close out the game, and he went not having it. But in this case, when they're going after Chewie, overriding with a second chance is probably better than just putting a redeploy down.
Hyperloop's commenting on the stream here. This is the greatest day of my life, and I will say this stream is in large part due to their efforts and their craziness on social media. We were not originally intending on streaming this video, but there were so many people asking us to do it, and everyone out there listening and watching, we really do appreciate. Without you, we wouldn't be able to do anything we do, including streams like this or everything that we do for the community. So we appreciate it, and we're happy to have all of you here.
And I think we might not have mentioned, but Karl is the first seed. He went 6-1 today, and he was sitting at the top table most of the day.
Seed.
And Matt lost his last round, and so he dropped down to the 8th seed and squeaked in. So this is the 1 versus 8 match that we're watching.
Yeah, and Matt was, I think, was he 5-0?
Yeah, I think he was.
So he won 5, lost 2 in a row. He's coming into this game desperately looking for some momentum.
He's not doing too bad right now.
All right, Karl going to re-roll. He's really got to hit something. And some indirect is fine. I mean, it's the kind of thing where, like, what you can't have is nothing on that resolve. He could discard his last card and try to go for that damage, but Matt sitting at 7 health on Chewie, and this is just bad news beats for Karl. I think he's a pinch behind. I think he needs to get Chewie off the board quickly.
And if he does, it's okay. So the real question is, does Matt pull out a Cunning or something else he can drop on Yoda? Because 1 upgrade on Yoda is so mitigatable, right? I mean, you need to have multiple dice that do damage at this point in the game. I mean, getting money and shields is just keeping the game going along.
And we're going to see that combo play you were talking. He's setting it up. That doesn't mean he has it in hand, but that's something you want to threaten your opponent with, is just enough knowledge to make him play around it.
Yep. Well, and I mean,
Matt here using the I forget the name of that card.
Improved defense.
Improved defense, and that's going to make the Talzin turn potentially canceled.
Except for probably what he's going to use it on is he's going to turn Vader's Fist to a side, resolve it with Chewie special, and then use that to knock that Vader's Fist off the board. So he's going to get 1 real activation out of Vader's Fist this round.
I did not even realize you could pair that with Chewie like that. That is the most disgusting thing I've heard all day.
It's rude. It's very rude.
So if you're unaware, oh my goodness,
man,
Force Illusion going down on Chewie. So Force Illusion, when a character would take damage, you can cancel it and discard cards off the top of your deck equal to that amount.
And I think between these 2 plays we just saw,
Yep.
with Second Chance and Force Illusion, that we've seen a gap start to form pretty significantly in favor of Chewie and Yoda, because it's just going to be extremely difficult for Talzin to close it out now.
Yeah. Lobot Rules on the stream here making a really good point, which is Cunning is yellow character only. So even if he had drawn it, he would have had to play it on Chewie. But at this point, Chewie's looking
I think this
just fine.
These 2 plays are probably better than even getting Cunning if you could somehow get it down. But I was actually questioning why to do Improved Defense, just because Chewie might have gotten rolled off the table here early on, and then that would have been a much less useful card.
Yeah,
but with the Force Illusion backup play, he has his time, he can take it, and Chewie will get his special shenanigans going.
This is looking pretty good for Matt. I mean, he was texting me late on Thursday and Friday about this deck. And one of the riskiest things you can do is to change decks without any time to practice them. But as going throughout the day checking in with them, it was really a story of like, he's saying that they're just so good. Like it's just very like I fix all my dice and I mess with all theirs, and like it's a real.
And I think part of this is both these decks are somewhat tuned against Vader, because Vader is still the monster of the meta. And so I think being able to resolve or do stuff to Vader's dice is important, and I think Chewie and Yoda can do that, take advantage of the big sides on Yoda.
Yeah.
And on the other side, Karl's found an angle that messes with the resources, which, as much as the sticks are a problem for Vader, the other problem is him getting some resources, getting a fist out or some big upgrades on Vader. It makes him so much worse.
And once the fist and Vader are rolling, they need the resources for those big sides.
That's true.
And I think that's, on top of that, this deck of Matt's at least has Yoda, which fixes your own dice without needing cards to do it. which Yoda's a monster, right? It gives you access to resources, it gives you access to die fixing, it gives you access to discard and disrupt, and I think he's easily one of the best characters in the game. We got, looks like 5 or 7 or 8 damage here showing from Talzin plus the fist.
It's a 3 for 1, and the 2
Looks
Talon
like,
dice are
I
both
think
2s?
2 2s, yeah.
Okay.
So the good news is, though, it is a best of 3. So even if one player kind of starts to take the lead in one of the games, it's not over for both players. There is a second round and then a following third round if we go to that. So just because one might be over the other doesn't mean you should just give up. But
Sure, best of 3. That's a great thing for the cut to have, honestly.
yes, absolutely.
Now
So
I
it
will
looks
say,
like Matt knocked off the thing with a hidden motive, guessed right, and I think he just power action to bring it back in.
which
So,
is, I think, hitting that hidden motive there, it's 1 and 3 to hit. That's a big play.
Let's see what Chewie gets here. This is going to be really important.
and I think getting Chewie's dice in the pool earlier somehow might have been good, so that he could have messed more with Karl's dice.
I don't really see any special showing to chain out here.
Now, it looks like Karl has 2 resources, and I think I see Beguile.
Oh, Beagle would be really clutch right now if he could
I love
just
that you call it Beagle.
lock out some dice right
It
now.
also, what's that card he's running with that burst of lightning on it?
That's the, is it Risky Maneuver? Is that in the deck?
Let me consult this paper that's in front of me here.
My compendium. All right, he's got anger
Is
too.
it EMP grenades?
No, I mean...
Oh man, that's a money play right there. So he rolls into the 3 that doesn't cost a resource. Matt's going to play a second hidden motive, all
Hidden
ranged,
motive again?
and missed. This time Karl rolls the shield. So, is it Cunning Ruse? Someone saying
Correct.
Cunning Ruse?
Cunning Ruse.
What does that even do? Either of you know what Cunning Ruse does? I have no one has a clue. This is shrugging.
Let the crickets speak for themselves.
Yeah.
This is one of the
Well, we're about to find
Oh,
out.
we're about to find out here. It does a thing with dice.
Some to your opponent's dice.
something's happening. Matt's
Oh, is that the
rerolling
one
it.
where you reroll and take that much damage on that character? Yes, that's been played against me in draft to effect on Lando a
Oh,
couple
very
times.
nice.
Yes.
There we go. Stream solved it. So Karl there rerolling into the 2 shields, and again, shields are so bad when you have that light bow out and Yoda, because he can switch to the light bow, knock all your shields off, and still hit you for 2.
But the game isn't over.
Oh,
If
not even a
Chewie
chance.
drops, Talzin still has enough oomph with the Vader's
Yeah,
fist
because
to punch out.
Yoda by himself with just a single light bow is not a huge threat, right?
No.
Not damage-wise, nope.
So Fist alone will do 6 or 7 damage around, and Yoda only has 8 health left. So we're definitely still in game territory. Matt here using the illusion to cancel, I think, 2 damage. There goes an easy pickings and an impulsive.
Yeah, it's something we
Matt's
haven't
still going
seen.
to take 2 here.
For the defensive, he's got witch magic,
So he can get back
he
into it.
can get back into it. He can heal. You've got things like truce to get that money.
Right.
You've got friends in low to get stuff out of
All right,
Yoda's hand.
this is Matt's last card, and it's a huge reroll. He needs a Yoda special desperately. It looks like
I
he got
see one.
Blank on Chewie, but he got Yoda special. And it looks like
And
a
Karl's
shield on the
out of
crossbow.
cards, right?
Karl is out of cards.
So he can't
looks
get
like
the
he's
last
going to be...
one.
He's running Profitable Connection, by the way, so he starts with 3 money. Going to go ahead and get the 2 shields, and that's going to ultimately prevent damage on the crossbow. If that's what Matt decides to do with it.
Yeah. There's not really a good reason not to, because stripping those shields and dealing damage is just really efficient for 2 dice.
It's interesting they chose to put the one on Chewie there, because there's like the fist and stuff is always going to do more than 1 damage anyway. I mean, there's some sides on Talzin, but she'll probably spin the 2 anyway if she's going for the kill shot.
Yeah, I'm not
So-
I'm not sure I'd do that, but, you know, game of inches here.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see. I mean, if one rolls out, then we can be proven wrong.
All right, Karl's going to claim. That means he's going to go first. He's also going to get access to Theed if he needs it. Talzin has 2 health left. And while it feels like there's a mile between Karl winning and where he's at now, it's really not that far.
It's not that far. And actually, I said
Ooh,
about
there's some
the...
good removal in his hand.
Okay, but also the improvised defense actually might come in handy for the Talzin ability here to try and keep Chewie alive just that 1 second longer to get some value out of Chewie.
So there's a couple things we can see here. We've got Feel Your Anger, so if Chewie and Yoda roll a lot of blanks, we can see some really strong...
Which is a problem with Yoda, but Chewie can certainly do
True.
it.
Chewie can eat it, but he's also got... He doesn't like you in his hand, I believe I saw.
There's a backup muscle, right? That's a dead Chewie.
Yeah.
That is a big
play.
play because it's going to cancel that shield effectively, right? No roll arm required. Now, Talzin still only has 2 health, right? So, but the trick of this is if he kills Chewie, he needs to control the light bow die on
And then there's
Yoda?
no damage coming in
And
this
there's
round.
no damage showing.
Oh, now he's got 2 ways to do it. Oh, and 2 things with 2 specials that do 2 plus damage. So
Well, you
now
kill the
it's gonna
Chewie
be a lot
right
harder.
now. Get rid of that problem
There goes
immediately.
Chewie. So there's the backup muscle. So 1 cost support. You put 3 damage on it. You can exhaust it to move a damage from it to one of your opponent's characters.
So the Treasured Lightsaber's doing 2 unblockable with this special. He should have drawn a card also there. So he has 2 things he can chain into.
Now, I did see a Feel Your Anger
and
on Karl's side. So Yoda has no blanks. That's one of the weakest characters against this. But, you know, if Karl gets a little bit of a miracle here on the 2 blanks on the
blanks
upgrades,
on these 2 upgrades.
this game spins on its head.
Not
All right.
blanks and
Ooh,
specials.
specials.
That's
All right.
going to be tough.
Karl needs a Christmas miracle here.
Well, Friends in Low Places is not said Christmas miracle.
No. I think Karl's looking at his options, and I don't think he's got any.
Yeah, Witch Magic here.
Oh, you can definitely go to game
Still
2. That's a good option. Yeah, like a Witch Magic.
Looks
could've
like
been really
he doesn't
nice.
like you, but that's also
Right.
not enough
Yeah.
here.
Even Witch Magic wouldn't help here, right? 5 damage is with those specials
Yeah,
showing.
he needs a way to remove the die, and a Beagle would have been
And
really
actually,
nice.
it's 6 damage, right? Because Matt should have 5 cards still, so the
Yes.
Treasured Lightsaber is doing its full 3
Yeah.
unblockable.
All right, so that's game
Oh.
1 going to Matt Phillips. So the 1 seed, Karl, coming in hot, is down a game. He's got to win the next 2, which is a pretty big challenge. But this game, again, it was 1 turn, right? Like they were both going to kill the other person on this turn specifically. So pretty close, and I feel like it really didn't go Karl's way early on at all.
Correct. He didn't get any of his stuff that he wanted on turn 1, and he didn't get to control the money on Yoda's side. So I think there were definitely lines where this gets more in Karl's favor.
And also, we saw Chewie just do a lot of damage early game, which is like what we were saying. That deck wants to kind of alpha strike and burst you as fast as it can just to sustain itself. And that's exactly what it did. Just a ton of damage. It knocked Beckett off. Yes, there was a Vader's Fist, but Talzin's not super strong. Then he played Improvised Events. Then he played Second Chance. Then he played all the best sustainable cards in the deck.
Mm-hmm.
And that just kept him alive long enough to matter.
Yep.
And that's why those cards are just so potent. And even someone in chat, Brad, was saying, I'm really looking forward to rotation, lots of strong cards. A lot of these cards you're seeing are going to be hitting rotation because they're part of the initial set of Destiny. Like, these are the crux of the game that we learned on, like, Second Chance, how do you get around it, how do you get around, Force Illusion. Like, these are just huge plays,
Yeah.
and when you see top tables, you're going to have to figure out how to get around these cards.
Now, I will mention really quick, if you're watching and not familiar, we have the Covenant Masters finale coming up in 2 weeks from today. If you look on the left here, Karl is using some beautiful black and gold resource tokens. Sugi is freaking out about them. And everyone that shows up to that event in 2 weeks is going to get the resource damage and shields in that black acrylic with a beautiful shiny gold fill.
Yeah, I have to say something. Like, you let me have my set early, and I was playing all weekend. Like, I loved it, but everyone was like, what are those? And who didn't know? I was like, these are at the Masters event. You got to come. And they're like, okay. Like, the black on black doesn't do them justice. These things are just fantastic. Like, excellent design. They pop so well.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that's the shields are in that. Something about the gold in those
I want more
is
shields.
crazy.
Those
Yeah,
are so
it's
gorgeous.
just pretty wild. But yeah, speaking of rotation, I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. I think I've said this quite a bit, but a lot of the cards in the decks are from the first cycle. A lot of those cards feel undercosted or a little good for what you're getting. But conversely, the characters from Legacies, if you look, these are all Legacies characters and beyond on the table right now, right?
Now, if they're playing best 2 out of 3, doesn't the loser get to pick who gets the
They
battlefield?
should.
But
They
they just rolled off for a battlefield
They
here.
absolutely should.
Because I was going to say, that's the benefit of losing. Karl can just pick his battlefield.
I don't have. Where's my phone?
Do you want to
there
open
it is.
this?
I will alert the authorities.
And that's an interesting thing that happens as you play the games. Like, this is game, 8? We've been playing since 11 o'clock. It's been a long day. It's been a lot of fun, but mistakes happen. People are,
and
just...
you're used to it because this is the first of the top 8, so every
Right,
game up
you're-
till
you're
now
in
you've
the
been
zone.
rolling off, right?
Oh, yeah. So that's one of those things. Like, I posted this earlier on the Facebook page.
Hey, we're watching Matt.
Take breaks
They rolled off
just to make sure you don't do something wrong. Because you want to be in a situation where if you lose, the benefit is you get to pick which battlefield is played.
Yep.
So if he wants to have the battlefield, he should absolutely have that ability.
And
Yeah, so
with
the
feed
judge-
out there, we talked about it. Probably everybody's going to be choosing their battlefield with, unless there's some extenuating circumstances.
Yeah, the battlefield's worth way more than the 2 shields at this point.
I mean, I remember depending on the matchups, but a lot of times people would be taking shields a year ago, right? And now it's if Theed's involved, you just
It
go for the
looks
extra
looks
life.
like they're just leaving it. Karl taking the shields, maybe wants some extra health. Getting friends in low places here. Getting a look at Matt's hand. He gets to discard an event that costs 1 or less. I'm going to get rid of that easy pickings.
What's more important about friends and low is hand knowledge. You get to know what's in your hand and your opponent's hand, which means you should absolutely know what to play around and what's happening. But, of course, if you get hit with the exact same card, like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But it's such a potent card.
Still, regardless of whether your opponent gets to know, both players know now, right? So they should be able to play a quote-unquote optimal turn and not get any nasty surprises in terms of random cards. And you got Beckett's rifle out turn 1
so
here.
that's what we were talking about in the pre-show. Like, Beckett's rifle is just gas, like literal Taco Bell. Like, you are just going hard because now you've got a gun, you've got money, and your opponent's just sitting there going, oh, cool.
I feel like every time I look around, Matt's got a hidden motive in his hand, and he calls it right. It's a 1 in 3 every time, and he's hit 3 out of 4, I think. Or 2 out of 3.
Seems pretty good.
Yeah. Zero cost removal to actually remove stuff? Sign me up.
This is the start that Karl definitely wanted to see, and I think we're going to see a much closer game because now not only does he have a weapon, but he has economical advantage. And, like, mitigating resources out of your opponent, especially with decks like this, like, now potentially you're going to have to use Yoda to make resources instead of shields or flipping because you need to get back into a comfortable board state.
And I feel like Karl just whiffed on that Talzin pull. So when she activates, you get a look at the top card of your deck. If it's odd, you get a turn to die. He flipped it and then just like made a face and then put the card back. I couldn't see the card that was on the top of the deck, but he did not seem pleased with
There are not a lot of even cards in this
if
deck.
I had to
Yeah,
wager,
from
it'd be Beagle because that's the 2-drop that does good things.
Oh, I like it. What's the story behind calling it Beagle? You called it that in our game too.
So Todd called it Beagle on the
Right.
show once, and it just stuck because why not? People, every time I say it in the game, people laugh. They're like, "Wait, what?" I'm like,
That
you
new
know,
Beagle card.
you got Beagle, bro. They're like,
And you see, I do like this. So Matt's got that special showing on Chewie. Right now, Karl doesn't have any money, so flipping a die like that rifle doesn't have a modifier side as well, like a 2 or a 3. So you can flip it to the modifier, do some damage, and they can't do anything with it.
But I think Karl figured out from the first game, he's starting to pull off dice that can hurt him.
Yeah.
And so he's leaving one option as opposed to multiple options.
I think
so
that's
now
100% what you have to do against.
Chewie is going to have less functionality because he can only just get one die to get X amount of damage as opposed to he can target like 3 different dice.
All right, Karl taking the power action here, giving each player money. Beckett has a once-around action where you just give each player money. And now he's going to actually be able to resolve that 3 if Matt doesn't do anything. And that's 7 damage pretty early on Chewie.
And that's what he's hoping for, is to go into the start of round 2 and try and knock Chewie off. Or he's going to force Chewie to expend resources to keep him alive with things like second chance overriding or using that one resource for force illusion, which means, guess what? No weapons, no damage. And in the long run, that's exactly what Beckett wants you to do, is waste your money while he just punches you in the face.
Yeah.
Not too different from the movie.
Yoda doing what Yoda does here, using a special to turn a die, gain a resource, turn a die, gain a resource, turn a die, win the game.
Open a canteen while he's at it.
So now we're in a situation where Chewie again is in danger of going on round 2, but again, second chance. He's going to have tons of money unless Beckett.
Well, and he's got that treasured, so he can just override it for 1. But again,
he's just doing it right now, and
he's paying for it.
He's paying for it straight up.
And I think that's absolutely correct. And the thing about Chewie is he's a 12 health yellow character, right? And so that means he's going to last. He's got Yoda to put shields on. And I think that's really important, especially right now with Vader being such a threat. Having a bunch of health.
And the problem is, because he hasn't really allocated anything into Yoda, he's kind of stuck. This is something we saw in Awakenings days where you like allocate all this damage and then they throw second chance. And you're like, well, I can't like shift gears because now I'm just wasting my time. So he has to go in for Chewie all the way. And we've seen an upgrade here. What did he throw down?
The sniper rifle?
That's the sniper rifle.
Yeah, and
so
maybe that's what was on top of his
that was
deck.
one of the 2s that he could have possibly pulled. So.
we're going to start to see Talzin flipping into some significant damage, and what Karl absolutely wants is to either roll the nuts or flip into the nuts, because if he can kill Chewie with 2 or 3 actions deep in round 2, he should have the game fairly comfortably.
Well, it looks like Beckett here showing 5 damage, no money, but obviously has that power action. And again, second chance is just doing some serious work, trying to get the special there, I think, on that treasured, so you can just do the 3 unblockable damage. But he's showing 3. If he rolls Yoda in, he has a really good chance of hitting that speed or Yoda, so he can just do some pain.
Yeah, I want to give a quick shout out to the players. When I was playing, I actually saw very few Vaders, and I didn't play any. And the top 8 is not comprised of many. It's very neat to see players bringing these unique decks that are not super meta, and they're doing exceedingly well with them.
Well, and we did see, so you might not have seen it, but there was plenty of Vader around today.
Oh, really?
So I'm betting these decks, I mean, both of them, I would say, have at least tech somewhat against the Vader thing, so I wouldn't be surprised if each of them ran into a handful of Vader decks. But yeah, all in all, Vader had a medium day. I mean, there's a bunch of people 4-3 and 5-2 with Vader out there.
Right, but like that's the best part about card games is it gives the player the flexibility to play the game how they want, and it's just really cool to see a Yoda Chewie in the top. Like, that's just awesome. It's very exciting, actually.
I agree. I mean, Chewie is obviously inherently really good against Vader, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, so
Chewie's nutty.
I'm sure there is more tech to it and part of the, but I mean, this was a deck that was popular, somewhat popular, months back or half a year ago or something like that. The other thing we have in the top 8 is we have Solo Sabine, so she has made a return also.
Yeah,
so there's
that
some
was
throwbacks happening today.
That was
in Tulsa.
impressive.
Lobot rules, we had in the mid-50s. We also had a handful of people that registered that didn't show up, but pretty solid
I
turnout.
think it was 53, 54.
Yeah,
It was enough to go to 7 rounds, which is a lot of people.
that's the lane.
So I think what Karl really needs here,
I think you're rolling with Talzin.
I think you're rolling with Talzin, but I think what he needs to do is try and dig for some strong removal just to shut out Chewie for 1 round and then punch in. Because usually these decks have a lot of ways to deal damage, but they also have a lot of tricks. So if he can get his hands on like a Witch Magic, if he can get his hands on He Doesn't Like You, or even
Looks like Karl missed again on Talzin's ability.
I mean, and he's running, like, I was looking through, I think there's 7 different...
What did he did he flip a Beagle again?
I couldn't see.
Was it blue
too
or
quick
yellow?
for me to notice.
Yeah, he flips real quick.
We need like yell, hey, flip
But
it slower.
there's 2 who he doesn't like use. There's 2 X8s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Friends in Low Places, there's 2, so that's 6. Angers, there's 2, so that's 8. Truce, 2, so that's 10.
It's a lot. It's
And
risky.
EMP grenades, there's an EMP grenades in there, so that's 11. So it's...
I hate that card. that card just goes, hey, C-3PO, get out of my base. And it's like, oh,
yeah.
okay.
He gone.
Here we go.
all right,
we
since
got
he doesn't have Talzin, he
5.
has to do it the old-fashioned way.
He's got to do it fair.
And he's got 2 blanks here, with 5 damage showing on Beckett alone.
It's a good thing his opponent can't play Feel Your Anger now.
Mm-hmm. I half wonder, especially after that first game where he's got second chance in Force Illusion. I'm partially tempted to
caution.
go all in on Yoda. It's too late now, but
yeah. And there was even a time last time when he got the Force Illusion down there where he had 7 showing with Yoda with 8, and I was like, is it worth switching last game? But it's always a tough call to...
What do you think is going on in Karl's head? Like he comes from the top seed, and now he's facing a Chewie with sustainability, 3 shields. What does he need to do?
he has Dooku's Solar Sailor in this deck.
That's a good card.
That is amazing. All right, he's just looking for damage here, and he got some of it with a couple focus tokens, but I mean, he has enough damage potential to kill Yoda here. He could hit for 12 with the dice showing
12,
technically.
yeah.
So as a Yoda player, especially as a Mill player, like Yoda is like 100% your engine, and for Mill, if he dies, like you're in a lot of trouble. For this, it's not as bad, but the reality is Yoda is still the engine. Yoda is flipping, creating resources, creating shields. Yoda is utility 100%. And if you take that out, that means Chewie has to roll it in old-fashioned, and he's only got 3 dice, as opposed to Yoda just...
This may be the worst roll from Yoda Chewie possible.
Is it shields? All shields?
It's 1 damage on Chewie, 1 resource on Chewie, a shield on Treasured, a shield on Yoda, a shield on Force Speed.
That's when you want a Jar Jar so you can activate him and reroll everything real easy like.
Yeah, but no one plays Jar Jar.
That is
do
not
you?
true. I play Jar
I'm
Jar.
kidding with you. Okay. So, see, I almost use a Talzin focus to turn another Talzin into 2. Threaten 10. Make Matt
do something
shield.
to fix, save Yoda.
Okay, he's just putting damage in here.
He wants to get... Oh, he did. He went
switched.
I think this is the right choice because
So
now
7 damage, man.
now he has to sweat because if Yoda goes down, he's not going to be able to do shenanigans, so he's going to have to keep using his resources left and right instead of just left, and that's going to help give
100%.
Beckett the length he needs to come back.
Matt just had to toss impulsive, so that roll was so bad last time because on either of Yoda dice, a special or the 2 focus would have been...
I see a
would have been great
special
for
on
him.
Yoda.
Yeah.
So here's another
And
one.
is that a special on Treasured or Force
No,
Speed?
it's Force Speed.
and Chewie, but this special on Chewie not really doing a whole lot for you right now. I mean, maybe
Well, because
2,
Talzin's max is 2.
and you don't want to switch a Talzin Knight of a
Sure you
2.
do, because the other one's a focus, so it's going to be there.
But
go
like
there
if,
anyway.
if Karl rerolls here,
Mhm.
it's like you if he gets a 1 on the other Knight, you can't switch him to a 2.
But then you switch the 1 to
But
the
like
2.
if he gets a 1 and a 2, right? It's like you can't.
You can't, well, because Yoda's dead either way.
Yeah.
I feel like this is one of those parts of Destiny where sometimes you just kind of got to get risky about it.
Okay, he's using the power action here on Beckett to give each player a money.
Ooh,
All
what
right.
is that for? Does
What-
anybody know what's in
I
there?
would assume removal.
Probably, but
But that's a little, I mean, Matt can just, you literally resolve all of his dice right now.
he can. And
Yeah.
if he puts some shields on Yoda, I think it might be worth spinning the Talzin to the 2 side.
I feel like you take the force speed 2 actions right now just to
Just for sure. I mean,
give yourself, because you use Yoda to flip, you deal some damage, you take force speed, you do
mean-
Chewie.
I think you force speed, you Yoda Chewie to the his other special. You resolve.
both of them? No, because
No,
you have to
you-
spin. You can't just leave it. So you'd have to spin to the 2 and do 2, and then spin it to the 1 and do 1. He'd be sitting on a
Yeah.
1 gun that's not so useful.
He
That's
really
useful.
just needs to be able to hit 5, right?
Now is he going to put the shield
right,
on?
here we
He's going
go.
to put the shield on, right?
Well,
Yeah,
this
but
is
we
what
s-
makes Destiny really interesting,
Yeah,
is the
I think this is good.
options available. Yeah,
Because now he needs 2 2s on Talzin to finish it. So I think this
which should be
puts
very
him-
difficult.
Yeah.
He's pushed himself
1 and
to the limit
36
where you just
twice.
have to roll the nuts.
Okay, so there's the 2
Now,
from this.
what 1 cost could Karl be planning to play here, right? Like even a single witch magic shifts this game on its head.
That's true.
I
That's
mean,
true.
1 witch magic would be
Yep.
phenomenal.
All right, so he is turning to the 2 here on Talzin.
Yeah, puts Beckett up to the 10.
10.
He still should have another action. That was all specials, so he still has 2 more actions, actually.
Yeah, so now he gets to kill Beckett.
Feels bad, man.
But,
Rifle
I
is off the
mean,
table.
You know, all Karl has to do is get that other Talzin die to it
And
too.
then I think he has another action, right? So he's going to indeed claim and see if he can
All
1 and
right.
6 it
Karl-
twice.
Karl's got 2 dice.
I would
It's
pitch
about a
those cards to
30%
get the
chance.
kill.
I think so. I think you.
Those cards are dead in your hand right now.
Well,
if you can get a kill,
Honestly, even getting to the 1 on Talzin,
Okay.
if he draws a backup muscle, is
He had a backup missile. Actually, does he still have a backup missile?
oh,
Okay.
there it is.
Okay.
Excellent. That's what he was fishing for with that $1.
But
So
so he'll
Yoda's
kill him at the
turn,
beginning
yeah.
next turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
What's
so
the
we-
other card in his hand though? He should still try and re-roll this Talzin thing, and he should have done
Well,
that
no,
first.
because he can.
Well, it depends on what
I
he's
mean,
got.
it depends what it is, but.
All right, here we
Oh,
go.
why'd he do the? If he rolls the 2 now, he's going to kick himself a little bit.
Got
Nope,
the 1.
Got the 1.
Okay, so that was all right. This is a
So
Talzin versus
The
Chewie.
game's not over because
Yeah.
Chewie has the damage he needs, but
Chewie
he
is-
doesn't have the consistency now with Yoda.
Yeah. So Chewie's got 7 on
honestly-
him, but he basically has +8.
Even just 1 decent removal card
So
on
it's-
Karl's part this round is going to take
Push
him a
him.
long way.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, if you're just not tuning in, this is game 2 of a best of 3. We have the 1 seed on the left. His name's Karl from Texas. On the right, we have Matt Phillips from Tulsa. And this is a really tight game. Last game, Matt got it. So currently, Karl needs to win the next 2 to advance to the top 4.
Friends and low.
What'd you say?
He's got a friends and low.
That's a good.
That's
That's
good
a,
start.
that's a strong way to know what your opponent's about to do to you.
Alrighty,
There's
cunning,
cunning.
but not great option. The treasure lightsaber is a fine option. So we've got a virtual 13 health Chewie against a 10 health Talzin.
He can't use friends and low because there's no yellow character.
No spot.
I'm so used to no one killing Jar Jar. If only that card was in the spot. It's such a great card.
And now Karl does have a free 2 damage at some point.
Yes, that's true. So you can kick it down to an 11,
You
basically.
realistically want to use
So
that
that's it.
last one to pop off the second chance so you don't overcommit damage, because at this point, every point of damage is extremely critical.
Absolutely.
Alrighty, he has a
Dark
probably not
Council.
exactly what he wanted, but it
But
is an
it's-
extra
it's
dice. It's
okay
got
for-
Well,
focus.
being
yeah.
able to dig is important too, because right now he needs options. He's got a dead card in his hand with friends and low, so he's going to pitch that to reroll. But if he can
And
dig,
without Yoda here, you're not going to get consistent damage, so I'm not thinking Talzin's dying this turn, even.
Absolutely.
So you have. A
so
couple
with
turns.
Chewie special, do you just back up muscle and let him sit there? 'Cause
Absolutely.
he
Especially
can't
'cause-
flip anything.
So Karl's got. I'll see what
There he goes. He's doing
Here we
our
go.
friendly.
We don't.
Cunning ruse.
I was
Cunning
gonna
ruse.
say something ruse.
It's a ruse. It's a trap.
Okay, so he does 1 damage
One
to Chewie
damage.
there. Got him from a special to a resource, which is solid. Chewie not showing any melee damage, so the modified melee there on the treasure, not doing much. Matt dumping his force speed, of course. Can't play it on
Play
Chewbacca.
anymore.
Although Chewbacca with force speed
Why
is
would you?
terrifying.
At this point, you don't really need that.
Okay, hey,
Uh-oh.
if Karl has Feel Your
Please
Anger,
have
Feel your anger. Does he have any
but
money
no
left?
resources.
Yeah, he
Get
just
angry.
used his last resource
So he
to.
doesn't have Feel Your Anger anyway.
Uh-oh. All
But
right.
this is really good.
Here we
I mean,
go.
This is Karl's chance to really get back in this thing.
Do we see damage?
We
Uh-oh,
don't.
money.
That's modified damage on
Discard.
the X8. That's fine as long as that's odd, which it is. So Karl finally getting to hit the Talzin ability, and now that's going to mean he is showing a solid 4 damage here.
So that'll be 2 actually going into Chewie, which will push him from 7 to 9. But
9 damage, but still second chance. So
still got to get through that second
you have
chance.
8 more hit points
There's
to go.
potentially another second chance coming.
Feels bad, man.
Yeah, but if you have to use your second chance to overwrite, that's way worse than if you can,
It's
wait
true.
till next round and play it for 3.
What do you think Karl's thinking right now?
I mean, one action at a time. Let's do this. So I think this is solid. I think you hit Chewbacca for 4, and if Matt wants to turn it to a 2, by all means.
Yeah, Chewbacca doesn't have any of the fancy
Yep.
plays to do
those
anything
4
else
off,
there.
There
So
we go.
at this point, it's close enough where Chewie's doing virtually tie damage, which
Yeah.
is
Matt's
probably
essentially
not
down
worth
to
it.
8 here, minus the 2 from backup muscle, so we're down to a reasonable amount of damage.
So now, if he gets the Talzin there was on 2. So one of the plays you could do is he could have used his Chewie special to spin that down to a 1 to do a damage, and at least
Here comes that feed resource.
Mm.
So I wonder what he's got in his hand. Oh, you know what?
I got Force Illusion, I can see it now.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's either got removal or some sort of sustainability.
Probably not worth playing Force Illusion until that second chance gets
Gonna
popped,
discard
right?
a card and really hoping he
All
gets
right,
that Force
can you
Illusion
get the
here.
Force Illusion?
Oh, hyperspace jump. That's fine too.
No,
No, but that's
without
not gonna
Yoda
win
and
the
force
game.
speed around,
Yeah.
I don't think there's that many times. I mean, I guess if Vader's Fist comes out somehow, it's a good counter to that the turn it comes out.
But he did, by resolving that, the max Chewie can do with this is 1 damage with that special because the Dark Council
Right.
only has a 1 on it.
But it has to be a damage side, right? So
Oh.
Dark Cancel has no.
Do you do
damage side.
unblockable damage? though?
Yes, that's the Treasure Lightsaber. 2 unblockable damage.
Oh, yeah. I was like, how did he
he's
do a 4
counting every
unblockable?
quick
Yeah.
Chewie dice. That's really funny. Gonna gain
Takes a
money.
resource.
So that Chewie special is.
DOA.
Now this is where like 1 or 2 witch magic could just be
The game.
punishing.
Don't forget to activate your backup muscle. A lot
Yeah,
of people
that's-
do that, I've seen.
That's especially
And- okay, good.
It's especially important because that gets Chewie down to 2 health, which
And
means
there's a lot of
that
dice that do that.
A lot of dice do 2. He's got another on the backup muscle, so if he can hit a 1 even, and he's got Talzin's ability, so likely he's going to get to a 2. And we got a real game here.
Yeah, this is a nail biter.
So
And
this
Karl's
is-
got the extra resource coming from Seed Palace.
I feel
at
like
some point
this
in the
roll could be the crux of the game.
7 hit points to 6 hit points. They both are getting 4 dice into the pool.
Yeah, but Chewie's dice aren't as good, I think.
I agree. But
Now,
I mean,
we also
the
know...
maxes are better, right? But
We also know what's in the opponent's hand, so...
Karl dumping some cards
Oh, yeah,
here.
you got to dig right now. You got to try and get that extra anything. If you can get any kind of good removal or an upgrade, that can push you
yeah,
into
he has the
winning
next
the
8
game.
with the ambush. I think that's probably a good thing to throw down.
And he can feed, too, so he starts with 2, he can get that 3rd.
I don't know if you have enough time to feed, though.
I think you only feed if you need it later. Like if the X8 gets on a 3, then you
Right.
can feed and force the issue. But again, having that X8 out with Chewie's special is pretty terrifying if you don't have money because he can turn it to a 3, do 3 to you, and then
And
you
you
can't
can't do it
resolve
back. That's
Feels
true.
real bad. Yep,
Yeah, so
there
he
it
went to
is.
play it. So he had 1 money from last round, so I think he still has 1 money after this
Yeah,
is
we
done.
can't see it. It's
so.
behind his face cam. But
Here we go.
This is a humongous roll, right?
Yeah, if he can roll the nuts, and if he flips with Talzin, that's important, too.
He did not, but he does have the Dark Council, and he
Okay.
rolled a 2 natural on Talzin, so he's going to be able to switch one of the
Does
X8s
he
to a
hit
2 if he
an,
wants.
does he hit an even or an odd?
He
That's
got
the
2
question.
money showing too on the X8s, which could be good. So he hit an odd, and this is a big flip.
So here's what he can do: is he can put pressure on Chewie, and he still has that backup
And
muscle.
the thing though is that the +2 is not doing too much for you here because you got to knock off that second chance first. And I think he's realizing that. I think the best play here for me is turning the other Talzin die to the 2,
Suicide.
so
Use
you
that
can
and
re-roll the
backup
X8
muscle.
and get the
Or re-roll, or if you end up getting money or something like that, you can use the...
turned it to a 3. So he has money, so he can hit for 2, knock off the second chance, and hit for 3. He's literally 1 damage away because that's the backup muscle from being able to just defeat Matt if Matt can't, play a hidden motive here and do what Matt does. Now Matt does have
we know
that,
he has a Force Illusion.
He has a Force
yeah,
Illusion.
But
Yeah.
again,
So-
we'll wait
and he
until
has 4
second phase
resources,
gets-
which...
but that's where if Karl can actually get lethal showing, Matt's going to have to play
Oh, there's that hidden motive you said.
Illusion. Yep.
Oh, if it's all in the same range bucket,
Yeah.
that's true.
Let's see. Did he get it?
Oh my goodness,
He
Matt
voted
is on
4 for
fire.
4.
I bet we're going to talk to him. I'm going to talk to him after the tournament, and I bet he's going to say that card is the best card in the world. And it's like, yeah, because it's twice as accurate for you as it is for any human on the planet.
I think you need to start pitching a reroll if you're Karl, because you need to just keep pressuring removal. You need to keep pressuring Matt to do things.
It's also, I might use that Dark Council to draw a card, hopefully get another removal card and get it back in and maybe on a focus. Now, with money, right, I mean, he can pay to turn that X8 to any side he wanted. And so that's where, like, if Matt isn't able to remove the X8 that he did, it's getting pretty dicey.
But right now, I think Karl knows he's not going to get the kill this round, so he's thinking, hey, how do we survive for another round and do some of this damage? So
now he can technically get the kill.
There's a blink. That's so good.
He has the damage possible to kill Chewie here.
Yes.
if he rolls into naturally, right? He can't pay to flip.
He does.
To
He
get
does
there.
have cunning ruse though, so he could use that too in his toolbox.
That is true.
So even if he had 2 on Talzin, both are dice, 2 on the X8, that's 6 damage. He's got 7 on with the backup muscle, and Matt only has 7 currently remaining if you don't count the illusion. Now that's going to be a problem.
That's going to be bad.
And again, Matt hasn't even rolled in here, so going to get rid of the X8.
Yeah. So now your max damage is gone.
Yeah, that's really bad.
Although
But
with
see-
cunning ruse, it's still.
It's not over, but his threshold has dropped
Oh,
significantly.
that was a spot blue card, so they're undoing that.
Overconfidence is spot blue?
Yes, it is.
Overconfidence spot blue.
It's a good call.
That's a big change.
Yep.
That's a good thing they caught it, because players, whenever you're playing in a tournament, you're both needing to keep the game state as legal as possible. It's your responsibility. So it's good that someone caught that.
Realist namer on Facebook immediately spot balloon with a sad face, which is true. That could have easily been nail in the coffin territory, in my opinion. But now we got a game.
The Sith Lord says the same thing. Yeah, chat's keeping an eye on the game, which is good.
I know when we live stream our games on Monday of random things, they're drawing a card and getting a special again.
Oh, we got a special. See, now he can just keep
Was
digging.
that witch magic? I think that
Looks
was
like
witch
it
magic.
looks like a witch
so
magic. We had
I'm
the
pretty
game.
sure we're going into the next round. So
Yeah, because Matt's with all the resources he's got. Is Chewie's max side a 3?
is it 3 for 1 though?
I thought,
I think it's a 2,
I thought it was
right?
a 2.
2. Okay.
So we're looking at.
I don't play Chewie. I'm a mill player.
He can do close, but as long as and he doesn't like you on Karl's side, so I have a feeling this is definitely going to the next round.
Yeah, he has enough removal and sustainability. The problem is he still has to punch through that stupid force
Well,
illusion.
and Matt's only got. He didn't use it overconfident. So I was gonna say he's at least used 2 cards, but maybe it's only 1. Yeah, he's got
4 cards still.
He's got 4.
Jim
cards.
Sharp says, "Nice turnout. Having fun? Yeah, absolutely."
Missing you here, Jim. Sorry, I saw the buzzer beater you posted about. So congrats, Coach Jim Sharp. He doesn't like you. He's gonna
All
take
right.
away.
And is that a cunning or Chewie? They look so similar.
That was Chewie.
That was Chewie.
It was not
Okay.
special.
He's starting to turn off Chewie's maximum damage, kind of the same way happened to him. But like we said earlier, Talzin still has better dice, so the longer the game goes.
So this is interesting. He's got the modifier on Treasured, but Chewie does have the melee showing. So
There it is. All right.
All right.
all right. So he wants anything
wants the
with
2.
melee.
What did he
And
get?
he got the melee.
He got the
But
melee.
it does knock off the second chance. So Matt here is going to have to decide resolve or play illusion. And anytime you have even a moment
You
where
play illusion.
yeah, they're
You
playing
have to
illusion.
play
Now
illusion.
the thing about that though is I don't think Karl can kill him in one action. In any combination of cards he could possibly have with those 2.
Right.
So not resolving gives Karl a chance here, which
So
he doesn't have. But
Karl spent his money offensively. He does not have witch magic money, which means
he does
now,
have money there showing an X8.
So he can grab
I
that
think
to
he
get
absolutely
the,
needs to
You
grab
take
that
the money.
He's just left the damage.
Backup
right? He's
muscle.
taking the damage. I think that's risky. So because Matt's just going to cancel 2 of it here. I don't know how he's
Wait.
canceling 3.
No. Did he resolve 2 packets separately?
He did.
It was a 2 and a 1.
Yes, he did.
There's no modified there.
I agree with you. This is what happened. There was an error in play. Unfortunately, not going to get a fix it here. Jacob asking how many Vader in the top 8 and Mill. I don't know.
I believe there's 1 mil.
Maybe 1 Vader, maybe 2.
I think. We can look at the pieces of paper in front
Eric's
of us.
gonna kindly look at that.
Backup muscle right here will be really clutch to get him to 8, and then he's definitely within an X8 and a 2 from
Well,
Talzin.
so Matt is claiming here, which means he can get the money from X8, do a damage with backup muscle, witch magic.
There it is. There's that witch magic we were talking about. How much can he pull off? One.
Oh, and another witch
2.
magic is on the top of the
Oh
deck.
my gosh. No, so he hit a true, so that's 2.
But he's got another witch magic
yeah,
coming.
he
I
does
think
have
that's the
another
most
witch
important
magic
part.
coming in.
So this is going to be a tight game. Matt's got to find a way to get
I
around this.
actually think that witch magic might have put the game in Carl's favor.
The
because-
combo of the witch magics.
Well, the thing is, think about it. Those 2 X8s.
Now, Carl's got a decision here. He can try to reroll the X8 and get some damage. He's going to get the last backup muscle damage.
So he's 4-way.
And what's the max on X8 where you don't pay for it? 1?
2.
Just a 1. No, it's a +2.
Oh,
right?
it's a
One,
+2.
two,
One, a
two,
+2,
and a
and a
three
3.
full.
Yeah. So
But I mean,
I think I just take this money.
probably. But the thing is, he's already loaded up. So what is he going to get money-wise? It's going to be so helpful next
we
round.
have witch magic and overconfidence on the top of his deck.
Oh, okay.
and that's a blue character.
So
You could just...
So you guarantee you can get rid of one of the good dice on Chewie's side, and you know you can heal probably at least 2. Matt's got a task in front of him. Now, Matt could also draw into that other Force illusion.
Or the other second chance.
That's right. Second
think-
chance would be big. He has so much money up there.
If he pulls the second chance, that pushes Carl into a really bad place.
I think the real thing, and you can see Matt looking here. Matt looks like he's pretty confident. I think he's going to force the issue.
This is that thing you were talking about. You can look at the players. Look
Yep.
at Matt's face.
He's like, please.
All right,
Well,
so you
but
got
here's
the
the thing.
cunning here on the thing, and that is
That's 4 unblockable. Or no, it's 6 unblockable because he has 5
6
cards
unblockable,
currently.
yeah. But he can absolutely get rid of at least one of these with overconfidence, and then Matt can resolve a die, and then we can heal 2, right? At least maybe 3. So Carl's got some play here.
Yeah,
Here
Carl's
comes the
going to hit him with the
overconfidence.
overconfidence.
So he's going to get rid of one of them, and hopefully the other doesn't hit a special. They both
Oh, they
did.
both
so
hit special.
I think you get rid of cunning because it's
Cunning
got more
gets more
options.
Yeah,
options,
yeah.
cunning's better. It's not what you want to see, but at least he's getting one of those dice off the table.
All right, so he is getting rid of the cunning. It's a good play. Now Matt has 3 showing.
And you got to do it before you use any other cards. So
Yep.
yeah, you do it right away. So now we're down to 2.
And then here comes that
Here comes
fateful
the witch magic.
Or do you have a second?
You play witch magic. You got to play it because if he has any tricks, you're dead. If you're not,
Well, Chewie has lethal showing.
Is that a 2 for 1?
It's a 2.
2 for 1.
Talzin only has 9, so we have
Okay.
2 health left.
yeah.
There it
All
is.
right,
Alrighty.
let's see what he hits though. That's very important.
Backup,
Oh,
Force
and an
Illusion,
illusion.
and
Oh,
a
I
Truce.
was
That's just 2.
So 2.
Now, remember, we know he's got a truce in his hand.
Yes.
So when he rolls out, if he gets that 3 for 1,
GG. We're going to game 3, boys.
so Matt has 2 health left,
Yes.
and Talzin's we know there's an odd on top, so Talzin's ability is going to hit.
No, Matt has 4 because he's at 6, 7, 8 out of
That's
12.
right. He's got 4.
But that's really not difficult to hit, especially with Talzin flipping and
Here we go. It's
3.
game
All right.
time.
Can he do it?
And I think Carl does have 1 money left because he ended the last round with gaining.
Oh, I see the 3 for 1 right
Yeah,
there.
that's
Yeah.
good news for him.
So
And we know
And-
he's got the truce.
and he's
so
got a focus.
He's going to hit it. And he's going to be able to turn here with the Talzin die.
he has a Truce in his hand also?
Yeah.
I thought that was
Yes.
on deck. Okay.
That happened last time as well.
Yeah.
Both witch magic hit a truce.
All right, so can Matt...
He's gone. Yeah, he was sitting on hyperspace jump.
Money in the bank, and that's probably going to mean that he's going to draw into. He has another second chance in his hand.
But he also has... Carl has a Force Illusion we saw coming up.
And so last round, Matt was behind the entire round. Like I was like, is there any chance for him to hyperspace jump? And there was just never a shot where he was ahead enough that he could do any of that. And that's interesting.
That's a clutch play right
It
there.
is. So you're saying he has second chance in his hand again?
Also
to
has second
extend?
chance.
Okay.
Feels bad, baby.
And so now you've got...
For those who don't know, Hyperspace Jump allows you to just end the round, which is one of the most powerful cards out of Awakenings. Because
It's
stopping.
also perhaps of all the cards in the game, the one that I am most looking forward to rotating when set.
I'm really
summon
sad
comes
because I
out.
like that card because of its utility.
I like that card because of its theme, but there's only a certain amount of rage that I can handle. Oh, that is maybe the worst roll. That earlier, Matt also had a bad roll with Chewie. Resource, discard, shield, resource. This is giving Talzin a chance because Matt's going to have to spend that money on
Alright.
second chance immediately.
Come on, Talzin. Just roll nuts.
Yeah, she's going to need some. Oh, she
Ooh.
got fire.
I see 2... Are those 2 3 for 1s?
So it's a 2, a 2, a 2.
It's a
And
plus 2.
flip
yeah,
in.
he gets to flip.
So he's going to get to flip the other Talzin.
flip that blank.
He's got 8 damage showing.
You have to play the second chance.
Well, yeah, the question he could also overwrite. Like if he has other mitigation in his hand.
But here's the thing, right?
You need those dice,
If
though.
Matt
I understand.
if Matt plays it, Carl could get 1 damage away. So like another backup muscle is game. And now Karl does have a Force illusion, so he's got some play here. The other thing is Chewie's special again.
Oh, there's a back muscle in there.
Is there? Okay.
Yes.
So if Matt just played second chance here, this is bad.
Yeah.
It's all range damage, right? So it all goes in at the same
I
time.
think he also has a Force illusion, but Karl has, I mean, how many cards left in Matt's deck over there? If you look, that blue stack is getting...
Yeah, but Karl only has like 2 or 3.
Okay, easy pickings. That's even better.
Ouch.
Now he can't. Now he would have to do the overwrite if he wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not over. How much time is left in the round? Because it's a 90-minute round for 3 games, so it's real tight.
I mean, we've been live for almost an hour here, so we'll probably have a good 40 minutes left.
Jim Sharp, hyperspace jump might need to stay in the game. I don't know.
I do not think it does.
I think we can see other things. There's that 3
it's a
for 1.
3, so it's up to a 5.
So it's
So he's
5.
going to overkill a little bit.
Well, I think
Matt
he
doesn't
knows
have the money to play second chance anymore.
but he
He's
can
gonna have to
overwrite.
But that's what dies.
But I think Karl's playing smart because he's forcing Matt's hand. Because he knows if Matt doesn't do anything, we're going to game 3. If Matt does something, he now has enough information that he can play backup, he can use mitigation, he can start to play around the situation.
Yeah,
He's fishing for information here.
So the problem is if you get rid of Cunning, obviously Cunning's gone, but if you get rid of Treasured, then you can't Cunning the Treasured, because that special's gone. And so he's getting rid of Cunning, which I think is the right call. But Karl's going to be able to knock off that second chance, right? And then he's going to be able to play Force Illusion, and he just has to hope that Matt can't do 4 damage.
Which, for Chewie, surprisingly, isn't going to be easy. He'd have to roll like a double special. Because the funny thing is, even though Chewie can produce it with specials, Talzin's dice are really low.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to be able to get a 4 for 1 or a 3 out of a Beckett.
I'm also curious what kind of control Karl's working with over here.
You could hit the X8s, so that's the threat, is he needs to try and roll those out and resolve
I think
them
he's got a
ASAP.
resource right now, so he can just hit him and knock off that second chance, which I'm
Yes.
not against.
Yeah.
But then he loses the money and he can't control, right? So
It's risky.
Yeah. All right. He's going to go ahead and do it, and I think that's not. I don't think that's wrong. Is what I'm trying to say here.
Right.
All right. Second chances are gone, and we do know Matt has another illusion. And watching Chewie go through 2 second chances and a Force illusion, 1 Force illusion, maybe 2, is just obnoxious.
And, rotation sounds real good when you start thinking about how you went through 20 health on a Chewbacca.
Yeah. All right. So Karl here just playing the backup muscle, which is not awful. Okay. So now he's going to need to play that second chance. Not second, his Force illusion.
I mean,
Looks like Karl he doesn't like you, but of course no dice to do it with. So there it is, Force illusion.
Yeah.
And Karl's almost out of cards in his deck too. This has been a slug of a game.
might come down to a
This is
mill
great.
win.
I mean, you took off 2 of the more enabling characters or whatever it is.
So
and you're
now
down
here's
to
the
the
thing,
one-on-one.
though, right? Is
But then
that
Talzin's not as reliable because she can't flip in anything.
Yeah,
If-
but I mean, they both had serious mitigation. So I mean,
How many cards was in Karl's deck? I think I saw 4.
I don't know. I missed that.
Well, because here's the thing: if there's 4 cards in the deck, he needs to keep those 2 cards in his hand, so he has the option to flip in. I think that's what he's trying to mathematically deduce: is keep 1 card in the deck, so he still gets the Talzin trigger.
But I mean, he has 2 cards in hand right now.
Yes. So if he has 4 in the deck, he draws 3, has
double
1
blank.
left.
But I
Matt's
mean, if he
reroll.
uses the Force illusion this round, then that's going to be turned
then
off. But yeah,
you can't do it.
how many cards Matt got left? Last one. Alrighty,
All right.
here you go.
Big money, no whammies.
This is a high-level Destiny right here.
I mean, okay, here we go.
what did he get?
Got the special on Chewie. Not going to do anything.
Nothing. Oh, but I see a stick. Is there no?
That's
That's
a
a
plus stick,
modified
plus
side.
one
It's a
stick.
modifier. Oh, that's so good for Karl. And man,
Claim.
I'm sad for Matt, but happy that we're going to get
Get
one
another
more round of
yeah.
this.
So there's 2 cards. So now the
Yeah,
Talzin's off.
Talzin won't trigger.
Okay.
But Matt's down to 4 health. We have a backup muscle, and we have Talzin. Talzin can roll in and easily get to this damage. Now, Talzin, if the deck is gone, isn't going to be able to trigger.
How many cards in Matt's hand? 2?
Looks like 2.
So here's
Oh
a
my
crazy thing that could
goodness.
happen. He could do double discard and mill him out.
It is
I also
possible.
see he doesn't like you on Karl's side of the board, which could be just a big...
That's right. You
play.
only got 3 dice. Is that the only mitigation that Karl's got?
But he's also got $3.
This has been an incredible game.
Yes, I agree.
Also, have
Anthony-
incredible commentary to have you gentlemen around.
Thank you so much. All right, looks like Karl got a bucket of resources.
Feels
And he got
bad.
a discard, though. So
Don't
if-
forget,
if-
though, he can
if-
spend money to flip that X8.
That's right. So
It's not
he
over.
needs Matt to miss, and Matt
Uh-oh.
did not miss. The question mark is, can
Here's that
Karl
removal.
control it?
Yep.
Yeah, he's going to take away the 2. So he's going to do he doesn't like you. Take away Matt's 2. Now, he still has a discard showing, and if Matt rerolls and misses, he's milled.
He's milled.
That's right. So
So Matt, literally, it comes down to this reroll. In fact, if I'm Karl, I backup muscle,
and hold on.
and it's
Pass,
backup
yeah.
muscle.
But
Now,
do you have any answer,
You can
though?
turn the X8s to 3s here. Like he has 3
Yeah, he's got
resources, so
an.
I turn the X8 to a 3. If Matt doesn't do anything to it, I hit him for 3 and I back up muscle.
Once again, take a look at the player cam. I
Yeah,
think he's
just
starting to
look at
realize.
Matt and Karl going back and forth.
Karl's
here.
got a little grin, but I mean, it's not over,
Yeah,
right?
and he's
This-
pointing at him like
Yeah.
this is so
Matt,
good.
Matt's going through all his options, and I think Matt's come to the same conclusion.
I think he realized, and that's the power of discard for all you mill players out there.
I mean,
it
there-
threatens a lot of problems.
I'm tempted to take the 1 damage with Chewbacca when it's Matt's turn and force Karl to do something, right? Because Matt can buy another round. But Matt, not really. Karl can turn both
Yeah.
X8s. There it is.
no,
Right, so this is it.
No.
This is
All
it.
right.
He's got to threaten 2.
Yeah,
Yep,
all
there's
right,
Lone
here we
Runner,
go.
and
Here
Karl
we go.
knows.
There we go.
And he got a 2.
Oh.
Can Karl stop
Oh
the 2?
no. Uh-oh.
We got a shield. We got a discard.
Oh my gosh.
Well, he's got to stop it, and Matt would actually get another reroll, technically.
Oh.
That was amazing. All
What
right.
a game.
What a
Wow.
run from Karl. Super proud of Karl. He's been coming up to Tulsa quite a bit, and I've seen him progress as a player tremendously over the past several months. So to come in as the 1 seed and get this close, amazing. And to Matt, huge props because he came into this event, no experience with this deck, and yet here we are. So that is that game. I'm going to...
Can I give an update for the rest of the top 8 before we go?
You can. So what I'm going to do, we're going to keep streaming, assuming you guys are good to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So what I'm going to do is we're going to keep talking for a second, and then I'm going to turn the stream off. So this video is its own independent video when we post it on YouTube later. And then we're going to start the stream over again, and we're going to continue with the top 4 once they get set up and they're ready to go. So go ahead and give me a rundown of the
Yep.
top 8, and then we'll get
All
on
right, so this is the last game that finished. So the other games finished. I want to go through all of them that are there. But so we had a Solo Sabine built by Philip Gamble, and he was knocked out in the top 8.
Oh, he was just knocked out. That's
knocked
sad.
out. Yep.
What beat him?
I do not know what
Okay.
the matchups were, sorry.
We'll find
but,
out.
Yeah. Johnny Danger also piloted Han Kira, and he was knocked out in the top 8.
Han Quickra, the running gun.
Yep.
Pew, pew, pew.
And then we had a Jonathan Riddell, who piloted another Sienna Ray and Tobias Beckett and
yeah.
Armor Reinforcement. So I think that's the
Yes.
Fire Spray
Yeah, mhm,
version.
yep.
And so he was knocked out. So what we still have left in the top 4, somebody asked earlier
heard
on
no.
stream. Somebody asked on the stream how many Vaders there are. There are 2 Vaders, and both of them advanced. So we have 2 Vader Greedos in the top 4, and the other one is a Tarkin Snoke. And the
Yeah.
pilots of those, so Keith Martin and Tim Strawberry, maybe, are the Vader Greedos, and then Ian Schaefer from Oklahoma City is the Tarkin Snoke person.
He made it in the top 4?
Yeah, he
top
did.
4.
And I have to give a huge shout out to Team Covenant. Like I've lived in Tulsa for a long time. I've been to a lot of game stores across the country, and these events are fantastic. If you are in the area, just hanging out, you need to check it out. If you can come to the Masters event, please do. Like we're all going to be hanging out, and having a lot of fun. You really don't want to miss out on these really great events.
And as serious as the event sounds, it's very much, if you're new, highly recommended you come. And it's Trilogy, which is only the past 3 sets. It's a bunch of draft. The lead designer is going to be here. There's going to be plenty of people with plenty of extra decks. So if you're in the area, please come to that. We'd love to have you. And thank you guys so much for helping me commentate here on the stream.
Yep.
And thanks to everyone listening and everyone who's pre-ordered a Saga set for Convergence and everyone that's a box subscriber to automatically get their box for the next set when they come out. You guys all help us do everything we're doing here, including this stream. So thank you all so much. We're going to, again, stop this stream. We're going to restart it so we can have a fresh video on the top 4, and we'll catch all you guys there in just a minute. So thanks for watching. Until next time, keep playing.